All right, hello everyone. Here we are, setting up hole number 6 here. Just getting my bag ready, getting a little bit more reset here, and looks pretty good to me. The one thing that I might want to think about is switching to this big topper. So something I might do, and anytime that you make bag changes, if you have the notebook as well to go along, you will probably want to, set your bag up in the shop here. Once you have it set up, hit the wind assist, you'll come right back in game. As soon as you do that as well, you'll see an update in your K. Now, granted, it's an optional to switch your bag out because I could still find everything in kind of the last resort bag here that we have set up, but that will help you, to get set there. And what I'll usually do for this hole is kind of a 3 Powerball, and I'm also going to bring Big Topper in there. And let's just go in here kind of like this. For this hole, I don't use much elevation, maybe very, very minimally. Maybe, it might be a little bit uphill, so minus 10%, for example. So I can try that for a value. And copying what I do with my elevations will lead you to be able to, have similar results. Here you can see with a 6.8 mile per hour wind, we're looking at right about 2 rings. And you can see that the elevation is just kind of a little bit higher ground up there. So you can see that the bunker kind of dips down there. That's more an elevation in line with my elevation. But you can see that the fairway is just a little bit higher ground. So that's what you see me accommodating for here. And you can see that it's going to require essentially right around 2 rings, 1.9. So I'm just going to put 1.9 in the center of that fairway. And aside from that, hopefully we can get our perfect ball. And I can set my power kind of where I want it. And I did perfect shot! Ball, which is going to, help your chances of being able to project up into this fairway. You can see I used a little bit of curl and just got it right into the center of this fairway. It's going to give you a very good, reasonable chance to make your eagle. Now, one of the things that I can also do is start setting my app up ahead of time to where I'm ready to go. So here you can see that I'm using Endbringer 3, and you can see my max, mid, and min, and I'll be very close to kind of a min adjustment, maybe even a little bit smaller than min adjustment. Great shot! So for my ring adjustment up here where I am, once I input my wind, but you can see that I'm just kind of, while my opponent's shooting, I'm getting organized and getting ready to do my input, to make things a little bit smoother. And here you can see 6.9 is my wind, and 1.2 is my min, and I'm sure that I'm going to be very close to min in this case. What I'm going to try to do, for the most part, I might just give it a little bit of backspin. I like to kind of trust my wind play as opposed to, playing too much of a rigid green. You can see there's a lot of slope on this green. So what I would prefer to do is kind of take that out of the equation. And you can see that I'm kind of playing the ring itself, and you can see where I'm set up. It's just a tiny bit outside the hole, not very much. Perfect shot. Nice just not enough. So it might have had to do with my positioning of how I might just not have had that right in the center with the ball guide there. So you do need to be very careful with your finger positioning. I try to always be very, very centered with the way that I do it, and I felt like I was just a little bit off on that, and that might have been, the difference between why I made versus missed that pitch. But as I was mentioning, especially on those very rigid greens, you'll see that I'll just try to, play a lot less slope. I don't like to trust the green for a long rollout. Perfect shot. With a rapier, for instance, because it's just going to be too flexible. Nice. You're better off just, taking that pitch once, seeing where you set up, and then all future revisions, you'll know how much wind to play. All you need to do is reflect back on the video, see where I just put the ball guide, and then you'll just need to go just, you know, a quarter inch more next time. So, you know, that's what I recommend. Give yourself a very high percentage make. I just felt kind of, you know, it was kind of my own fault for missing that one in that situation. I meant to forfeit here. I didn't. I don't feel like playing this through unless, well, the wind is very similar to the tournament wind, so I'll just do it for you guys. And if you guys remember what I did for the play in the tournament, it was a sniper shot and I believe plus 10%. So if my wind is 6.8, 7.4 rings. So I'll put right on the guide here and go right around 7.5 rings, being very precise to count. If you're not being very precise with your movement, you know, it is going to affect
perfect shot.
That, your shot plays out. So you do want to be very careful with that. Here you can see.
Hole in one.
I'm able to get myself a hole in one. And had I, you know, got my perfect ball, I have a feeling, you know, it would have at least hit the edge. It would have been very, very close if you guys watched my original shot on that hole. It's hole 2. I got you a good guide, but the only thing that I did is I hit a great ball. So with my adjustments, you know,
great shot.
As precise as I tried to play, if I ever hit great balls, the odds that I'm going to make it are going to be very, very small. But in any regard, you know, just be careful with your adjustments. You got to be very precise, because you can see kind of that camera position. You know, it might be easier to flip the camera the opposite direction, because you could see it was maybe a little bit zoomed out for that shootout. But, you know, in any regard, you know, good luck with your guys' hole 6 there, and be on the lookout for hole 7 coming up.